Yes, so there's one more question that we'll try out today. Okay, another question that we'll try out today. Okay, this is also about the volume of cube. Okay, another question. The dimensions. Is it a cube or cuboid question? This question has both cube and cuboid. Okay, in the same question, we have both cube and cuboid. How many cubical box can be put into into its 10 centimeter side. So the question is telling us that we have a cardboard box, okay, and dimensions are 80 centimeter, 40 centimeter, and 20 centimeter. Means that it is a cuboidal cardboard box. Okay. Now in that box, it is asking that how many cubes we can put in it. Okay. How many cubical boxes means cube boxes we can put in it with side 10 centimeter. Okay. So cube side we are given and the of the rectangular box. Okay, that is your cuboid dimensions are given to us. So try this out. Try out this question.
Ma'am?
Yes, Edward.
Ma'am, is it 64?
Yes, that's correct. And
Auntie 64.
you also got 64 and a half.
Yeah, I'm not Auntie, ma'am. Sorry.
Okay. Volume of cube is side cube. Okay. Okay. So now let's solve. We have the dimensions of cuboid. So multiply 80, 40, and 20. And tell me what are you getting as the volume of cuboid?
640.
Multiply and tell me. Okay. 640.
I mean 6,400.
64,000, right?
Even I'm getting the same for volume of cube.
Okay. 80 and then 40 and 20. We'll get 64,000, okay? 64,000 centimeter cube. Now find out the volume of cube, that is side cube, means 3 times the side, okay? 10 into 10 into 10. How much it becomes? It becomes 1,000 centimeter cube, okay? So we have the volume of cuboid and we have the volume of cube. Now to find out how many cubes can be put of this dimension into a this volume. Okay, so we will divide it. Okay, we will divide the volume of cuboid with the volume of cube. Okay, so let's divide it. It will become 1 second.
64 man, right?
Volume of cuboid. You said something?
No, I said like everyone right. The answer is 64.
Answer is 64. Yes, correct. 64,000 divided by 1,000. Cancel the zeros. And we have the answer, that is 64. Okay, answer will become 64. Got it? Any doubts in this question?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So, see, volume of cube is very simple. Whenever you have the question to find out the volume of a cube, its formula is side cube. Okay, side cube. So you will have the side of the cube. You will be given the side of the cube, any centimeter or meter, okay, 5 meter or 10 centimeter or anything. You just have to multiply it 3 times, okay? Like 10 centimeter, here it was, so 10 into 10 into 10. Okay, if 2 meter, 5 meter, then 5 into 5 into 5. Okay, if the measurement of the dimension is in centimeter, the answer you will get will become centimeter cube. Okay, if the side is in centimeter. If the side is in meter, the answer you will get will become meter cube. Okay, got it? So with this we finished with this chapter. Alright, this chapter is completed. We had only 2 figures that are covered in your course, that is cuboid and cube. Okay. Now, what I want you all to do is to try out the questions from this chapter. Okay, try out the exercises, and I plan to keep a test of the same on next week Tuesday. Okay, so you have today, okay, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 5 days you have to try out the questions. Monday, ask me your doubts, okay? In Monday's class, ask me your doubts from this chapter, 17th chapter, and Tuesday we can keep a test. All right, hope that's clear.
Ma'am,
Yes, I do.
ma'am, when is the test for 16th chapter?
16th chapter. I haven't taken a test for 16th chapter yet.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, just let me see. It was okay, area and proportion. Yeah, this is an important chapter. Area and proportion. We can keep a test let's do this. First, we can keep a test for area and proportion. Okay. So this
I
week
haven't set the mark. Send the marks for chapter 15 also
I
yet.
said I haven't sent the marks for chapter 15 yet. Okay. So I'll check. I'll check and I'll send you all. Okay. I'll be sending that to you. And 16th chapter, when shall we keep the test? This Tuesday, is okay? Or next week is Tuesday. Next week
I
Tuesday.
completely
Big man.
chapter 78 for the test this week.
I'm unable to hear Zara. Can you
I think maybe
repeat?
no chapter 16.
Mom, could you keep it next week?
Chapter 16, next week we can take. So let's take Thursday next week.
Next Thursday or next?
Next week, Thursday. Okay. Why? Because it's a lengthy chapter. So 1 week I can give you all, okay, to prepare for it. Take 1 week. Today is Wednesday. Till next Thursday, prepare for the 16th chapter. Okay, first 16th chapter test I'll take because this volume is a short chapter, and 16th chapter is an important one. Little bit lengthy too. So we'll first take the test of 16th chapter. That is next week, Thursday. Wednesday, you can ask me doubts. Okay,
Then the test for 17th chapter?
Thursday, yes. 17th chapter after it, in the next week after that. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So with this we finished with volume chapter. Yes, Abraham.
Mom, when will you correct the maths half yearly test and the science half yearly test and
When
send?
will I correct? I'll send it soon. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
I'll try to send it in this week itself. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
This week itself, I'll be sure. Right. Yeah. Now we finished with this chapter. Okay. Volume chapter is over. Next, we have a chapter that is known as statistics. A chapter that is called statistics.
Is this 18th chapter?
18th chapter. Yes.
How many chapters are there in total?
Let me open up to 18th. I think 21 or 20 something are there. 21 chapters. Introduction. Statistics.
Ma'am,
Okay.
in statistics, do we learn how to draw graphs and charts?
Do we learn how to draw graphs and charts? Yes, Abraham, we are going to learn that. So today we are only going to cover the introduction part, but tomorrow I want all of you all to get a graph paper, okay, for the class. All right. Tomorrow, please get a graph paper for the class. Work with graphs. Okay. But today let's do an introduction for the statistics. Now, statistics is something that is related with data. Okay, that is related with data. But before we talk about data, have you observed in your normal life that people talk about numbers? Okay, this percent of this and this percent of that, this percent reservation, this percent rise is there in the revenue, or people talk about a particular percent and they tell of something, right? So that particular percent they talk about is a calculation, okay, of statistics. Okay, that percent they talk about. Okay, this percent rise in revenue, this percent decline in the rates and all that they talk about. So that is a calculation of statistics. Okay. Now, Where-
Data.
Before, yes, data. So what happens? Data, if we talk about now, suppose let's take an example. Okay, let's take an example. I gave you an activity, okay, an assignment that take 20 students from your class, okay, take 20 students from your class and take their collect their marks, okay, collect their marks for suppose a half yearly exam, okay, take 20 students from your classroom and collect their marks for the half yearly examination. Okay, so you will have options. Okay. So when I tell you, okay, you are there, okay, and there is your classroom. This is your classroom, and I tell you to go and get the marks of 20 students and 20 students. Okay, so either you will do two things. Okay, you have two options. You will go to them. Okay, you will go to these 20 students and ask the marks. Okay, or then we have one thing in the school known as one thing in the school known as the office, school office. Okay, now school office. We have here we have all the student record
Boy.
in which their marks are also there. Okay, marks are also there. So either you will go directly to the students and ask them how much many marks you got every student. Okay, 20 students. You will go to each one of them and ask, or you will go to the school office and take from here. Okay.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes,
Ma'am,
Abraham.
isn't there also a board where like all the marks are displayed after a certain test for higher classes?
Not every school does that, Abraham. Yes, not every school displays it. Okay, not every school displays it. Some do, yes, some do, of course. Okay, so that board where it is displayed, okay, we will count it in the category of school office. Okay, okay. Now tell me, how many of you all will go directly to the students to ask them marks? Raise your hand and tell me. How many of you all will go directly to the students to um, ask the marks? See, both options are correct, okay? So don't go with that this might be wrong or that might be right. Both options in this case are right. Okay. I just need your opinion. What would you do if I told you to collect this data? Directly going to the student or the office? Yes, Anna?
I would I would go to the office because then you don't have to like wait for it. Because if you go to the students, first of all, it might take you a while to get all the marks. It doesn't make sense to like go to one student one by one and get the marks. If you go to the school office, they'll have the marks on like a sheet and you'll be able to get in like a few minutes. It makes more sense to go to the school office.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay, got it. Yes. Edric, what would you do?
Ma'am,
Hmm.
ma'am, the school office has a sheet, that sheet contains all of the marks, all the students' marks.
Okay, yes. So you'll go to the school office. Okay. Abraham?
Ma'am, I'll go to the school office because first of all, it's faster. And second of all, the students may be faulty and say something wrong. They may say that my marks is the highest,
Mm.
like I've got 100%. So the
Mm.
students are a little
Okay.
non-trustworthy source. It's because they
Non-trust.
give me find out that the project that I'm doing is asked by a teacher, which could end up anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Okay, right. Makes sense. Anaya and Simran,
Ma'am, school office. Because
school
like what
office.
Zara said makes sense. It's
Yeah,
faster.
and Simran.
Ma'am,
Faster. Yes.
ma'am, because if you ask the teacher no, the teacher will say no.
Simran, school office or the classroom. Are you able to hear me, Simran? Abraham saying something.
Ma'am, I was saying that I wanted to say that me the school teacher me also who's teaching in the s- in the classroom where we have to ask the children may not like it that you come into the classroom and you ask them their marks. The school teacher may feel offended, and the children's teacher
Mm-hmm.
may the children's mothers and fathers, like their parents, may have told the children, don't share your marks with anybody. So they
Mm-hmm.
won't share with us.
Okay. Okay. So see, now this was about this process that we were doing, okay, going to the class and to the office. This is known as collection
Survey.
of data. In statistics, there is a term known as
Ma'am, collection of data and systematic writing.
yes, collection of data. Okay. Now, these two things that we were doing, okay, I told you to bring me the data of 20 students, their marks. Okay. So the first, if you go to the classroom, this is known as primary source. Primary source. Okay. I told you to get the marks of the students. Okay. So you are directly going to the student and asking them their marks. Means that the primary means the first, the major, like directly from the source itself, you are asking. Okay. Major source, primary source means the major source. From the source itself, you are asking. Okay. So this is known as primary source. Okay. And here, where school office you were going, this is known as secondary source. Okay. So in the data collection, we have two sources. In the data collection, we have two sources. We have primary source, okay, and we have secondary source. Now, the data which is original and is collected personally, okay, data which is original and collected personally is known as primary source. And the data, okay, which we take from recorded, okay, which we take from the recorded information, okay, not directly from the source, but from the records of the source. That is known as secondary source of data. Okay, it is also known as ungrouped data. So let's write the definitions of both. Okay, I'm clearing the screen. If you want to write anything down, you
Ma'am,
can
could
write
you
it.
write like the
Yes,
collection of data? Like, could you write the definition of collection of data? Like, if there's a definition.
yes, okay. I'll write. Yes, Abraham.
Ma'am, I have a question. Suppose
Hmm.
I had to collect the marks then at the time when the exam paper is being given out to the children. And I go to the teacher and say that, ma'am, I will give out the papers to the children. The ma'am will ask. And so what I do is after every paper I'm giving, I write down the marks that is there on the paper. So will that be primary or secondary?
Okay, so you are distributing the checked papers to the students, right?
Yes, ma'am.
After checking. After checking, you are distributing it. Um, I think Abraham, it will fall somewhere between primary and secondary source. Okay. It is not exactly primary, okay, because you are not taking it from the student, okay, but you are taking it from his answer sheet. All right. You are taking it from the answer sheet. So I think it's gonna more be a secondary source, okay?
But how, ma'am?
More like a secondary
Because
source.
you're out there collecting the
See,
data.
because yes, you are collecting the data. Okay. But what is secondary source? The data that's obtained from the records, okay, from the written papers, from the written records. Okay, so and primary source directly from the source itself. Okay, so student involvement is not there.
So,
You did
ma'am,
not ask the student,
teacher,
right?
then will it
So
be secondary? See, then will it be primary?
if you ask the student after they have received the marks, okay, then you ask them each one, then it will be primary. But if you're taking it from their answer sheets, then it will be secondary. Okay,
No, ma'am. If I ask the teacher,
the teacher, it will be secondary. Okay,
if I
it
ask
will
the
be
person who
secondary because what did
collected
I
the,
told you all ultimately?
ma'am, if I collected
Okay,
the sheet
listen,
and he,
what did I told you in the first place? That I need the marks of the students. Okay, so from collecting it from student himself, it will be primary data. Other all data from the teacher, from the test, all of it will be secondary data. Okay, makes sense. Okay, so let's write down the definitions of all of it. Okay. So recently, I did a project. Okay, we got a lot of projects for the college. So I was making a project in the subject business organization. Okay, and we had the project was like this that pick any company from the any business house from the Fortune magazine and write about it. Okay, already about the business house. So I took the company named as Berkshire Hathaway. Okay, so then I collected all the data from the internet. Okay, for Berkshire Hathaway company, I collected the data from the internet. Okay, some from the AI and some from the internet. So what I collected, my data was secondary data. Okay, from secondary source. Okay, now that was secondary data because I found it on the website and some I took with the help of AI. Okay, but again, if I had went to Berkshire Hathaway, okay, to collect that data, what I needed, different departments, that is not possible, right? But that is ultimately known as the primary data, okay, primary collection of data, or and that Berkshire Hathaway is my primary source. Okay, since I'm making a project on that, Berkshire Hathaway is the primary source. Okay, but since I cannot go there and collect the data, we use the secondary source. So mostly secondary sources are used. Okay, like you all have said, if I were in a place to collect the data, I also would have chosen to see the records instead of going to each student. Okay, so what happens now? Try to understand this. What I'm telling you all, that what we take access is the records. Okay, is the secondary data. But the people who have made the secondary data have made it from the primary source itself. Okay, from the primary source itself. Now, in my project, the websites that I took my data from, somebody, okay, took it from Berkshire Hathaway and then put it on the website. Makes sense, right? Somebody, okay, the reporters or media, whatever people, they took it from the main company, main source, primary source, Berkshire Hathaway, and then put it in the website. And then we people went to the website and took the data. Okay, so we do the secondary data. But for that secondary data, somebody has first done it from the primary source, and then that from the primary source, the data becomes the secondary source, okay, for us to do the secondary data, okay, is the secondary source which we access to, okay, but secondary source is made up of the primary source, okay, got this part? Got this part? Okay. So, rather the definition of primary source.
Ma'am,
Yes, Abraham.
if you had gone to that company and then you went and checked in that company, you went and checked their booklets or their brochures, will that be secondary or primary?
Will that be secondary or primary? If I went to the company and checked their brochures, Abraham, if I need to check their brochures only, I need not go to the company itself. Okay.
No, ma'am, you
Bro-
went to the company to check their brochures, you checked their records, and then you even spoke with a few people.
Then it will be primary data. If I spoke with a few people, okay, got the information I needed, okay, they gave me the information in the form of brochures, then it will be primary data. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so data which is original and which is collected personally is called primary data. Okay, and the source from which that primary data is collected, okay, the original source is known as primary source of it. Okay, and secondary data, okay, secondary data from the secondary sources. Okay, what are the secondary sources? Okay, secondary sources are in which the data recorded or ungrouped. Okay, the recorded data or ungrouped data is the secondary sources. Okay, I'm writing definition on top. Collection of data definition I'm removing. Okay.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I have to leave for another class now.
Okay. Okay, Sarah. You can leave for another class. I'll share this definition with you. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye,
Bye.
ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Now, when you are bringing the data that is from the school records, okay, it will be termed as the secondary data. Okay, you have brought me the data from the school record, so it will be termed as secondary data. Okay, and the school record. Okay, school record from where you brought that secondary data, that school record is known as the the secondary source. Okay, so let me put these examples. Okay, school record, secondary data. secondary source. Okay, and the data will be secondary data. Okay, if you have brought me the data from the classroom, okay, from the classroom or students themselves, then that data will be called the source. The students are called primary source. Okay, and the data, the marks, the data will be known as primary data. Okay, so this is about primary data, secondary data, and primary source and secondary source. Okay, I can also tell you to go get me the data of 20 students from primary source. Okay, now when I say this from primary source, I will not give you the choice. Okay, to bring it from the school record. I say primary means you have to go and get it from the students themselves only. Okay, got it? So, like that it works. Now, in the coming classes of this chapter, we will talk about the presentation of data. Okay, how we can present this data. Today, we talked about collection of data. In statistics, we talked about collection of data, how it can be collected. Okay, tomorrow we'll talk about the presentation of data, how it can be presented. Okay, okay, then that's all for the class today. See you all. Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
ma'am. Thank you.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, bye.